210-900-0400. I've been representing people injured in motor vehicle and trucking collisions for 28 years. Each placed their trust in me to do everything it takes to attain a just and fair recovery and to get honest, trustworthy legal advice. You can trust me to do the same for you. If you or a family member has been injured in an auto collision, call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400 or at my website, alawyerforus.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the big breaking news here at the end of the day is that Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones has announced that now Hall of Fame defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence will be going into the Cowboys Ring of Honor. The question becomes, when will Jimmy Johnson finally get in? Cowboys defensive end Sam Williams arrested Sunday on charges of possession of a controlled substance and unlawful carrying of a weapon.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for riding along with me. Man, what a bomb that dropped there at the end of the Blitz. The fact that after this event that they were holding up at the Star, and we'll get to some of the audio from that. Dak spoke, Trayvon Diggs spoke, Micah Parsons spoke, and DeMarcus Ware was hosting this event for fans up at the Star in Frisco. And Jerry, at the end, as everybody was saying their goodbyes, hold on, I got a special announcement. DeMarcus, we couldn't have done this without you. You've been doing a great job, yada, yada, yada. I want to congratulate you and let you know that I am bringing you into the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Crowd goes nuts. Everybody claps. But from an outside perspective, when you're not caught up in the moment as it's happening right there, the first question becomes, you said Jimmy was going in. As a matter of fact, you said it on live TV, and it prompted, because at the Hall of Fame, where Jimmy was going in and getting his gold jacket, you made the announcement that he was going to go into the Ring of Honor, and Jimmy then promptly said,
While I'm alive?
Maybe not. Because DeMarcus Ware, deserving, Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is not one person more deserving of going into the Ring of Honor for the Dallas Cowboys than one Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, whom Jerry Jones hired. You can't get more credit. You did the thing that every Cowboy fan hated in firing Tom Landry and replacing him with Jimmy Johnson. And it worked. It worked to the tune of 3 rings. This is the name of Jimmy's boat. I don't understand it. John Machota was talking about after this, I guess there was some media availability, and he said Jerry Jones was asked about previous saying he would put Jimmy Johnson in the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Then said he projects Micah Parsons will one day be in the Ring of Honor. When Jones want to put Jimmy in while he's still alive. Jerry, quote, he's the youngest 80-year-old you'll ever meet. I'm right behind him. The thing doesn't run on an age meter. As a matter of fact, I'd go the other way. If I thought somebody was accusing of trying to beat the clock, I'm not going to let the old man in. I'm talking about myself. This is a very big deal. And you see it especially for the later generations that go into the actual Hall of Fame. The ones that have passed prematurely, or even just it took so long they passed, and their family is up there celebrating it, and the player doesn't get to partake in it. James Conner on our YouTube live feed says it hasn't been long enough to put Jimmy in. Cowboy fans are still talking about those rings like it was yesterday. That's a fair point. But those rings mean a lot in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. I would say they are some of the most impactful rings because, yes, the Dallas Cowboys were America's team back in the 70s under Roger Staubach. That was the golden age of the Dallas Cowboys. The very next one, Jimmy Johnson's reign, albeit short, was as impactful, if not more, than those first Super Bowls because it birthed Jimmy the owner or Jerry the owner. It birthed the Dallas Cowboys and the media's insatiable appetite to cover them with how Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, the rumors that surrounded the Cowboys at all times, going and spending a boatload of money on Deion Sanders, the White House, Michael Irvin's court cases. Like, that became, in essence, a must-see team, and that's when the Dallas Cowboys really became the focal point and the central focus of the sports media, in my opinion. I don't remember teams being covered like that before those Cowboys teams. Kind of the same way Miami was handled back in the day. Also, a Jimmy Johnson team. But it was the circus, everything that surrounded it. Everybody wanted a look inside. Everybody wanted to talk about it. Everybody had an opinion on it. Jimmy Johnson's a part of that. Jerry Jones is a part of it as well. They work symbiotically hand in hand. But Jimmy Johnson is a huge part of it. And it is a shame that he is not in, and the fact that Jerry Jones is still acting this way about it. And the only way I can describe it properly would be like a petulant child. It's sad to see because of the amount of success that the two had together and the lack of success that they've had since. And it's almost in a way, two best friends that have a falling out. And they don't realize what they meant to each other until it's too late. And you have all that missed time. And this is exactly what that feels like. Because Jerry and Jimmy were really close when he was first hired. And they worked hand in hand in helping to build that roster. And I know Jimmy had a huge part in it. But Jerry was there. He wasn't just along for the ride. Yes, he's an owner. He did his thing. He let Jimmy build the team in his image, which great owners do. Great owners stand and get out of the way, and they let personnel people handle the personnel things. And you need a sense of removal, especially when you are so much to the Dallas Cowboys. You're writing the checks. You've got relationships with the players. And a person, you need the go-between. That's kind of what the GM is. Sometimes you like a person a lot, but you need somebody to be ruthless and be like, I'm sorry, we're going in a different direction. Like Bob Kraft and Tom Brady. You had a go-between with Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick wanted to move on and move on and move on. And Kraft kept saying no, 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 because of finally he got his way. And Bill Belichick's the bad guy in the scenario, not Robert Kraft. And Robert Kraft's about to have him back, have a whole Tom Brady day and everything out at Gillette Stadium. And there's going to be ceremony and applause. There needs to be this for Jimmy Johnson as well. But the problem is Jerry Jones won't allow it because his ego is in the way of this entire situation. And it's a damn shame. Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, all that great stuff. TikTok at I Am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star, or you can just follow along on our YouTube feed. I see some of y'all are already in here, like Joshua Jimenez, who says Coach Ryans will win one Super Bowl with the Texans while he's the head coach. He goes in that next year, week 1. I don't know about all that. I think he has to finish playing, but I could very easily see D'Amico Ryans going into the Texans Ring of Honor at some point. Miggy V 1203 says Jerry wants people to forget about Jimmy. It's sad. Where goes into a Hall of Fame immediately is in the Ring of Honor. Jimmy goes in. Jerry says Jimmy will go in, and nothing. It is a sad and petty stance. Yes, he is acting like a petulant child about it, and it is heartbreaking for fans. More than anything, fans are the ones getting screwed in this entire ordeal. And you feel sorry for the fans, especially those fans that hold those 90s teams so near and dear to their hearts, because those are the teams that they grew up with. They grew up with Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper and Darren Woodson and Troy Aikman, the Great Wall offensive line. I mean, I understand the frustration that fans must feel and why Jerry Jones is kind of despised as an owner at times, is because of things like this. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. Coming up next, Joe Reinagle is going to discuss this with me a little bit more. It doesn't mean that Jimmy won't go in just because he hasn't been announced, but I don't have a great feeling about it, especially in light of recent comments from Jerry Jones after the announcement became. We'll find out, but I'm going to discuss it with Joe Reinagle next, right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and SASportsStar.com.
94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic is back Monday, October 2nd at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now for $120 per person or $400 per foursome. Plus, a hole-in-one shot for your chance at $50,000 or a $1,000 gift card. 94.1 San Antonio's Fall Golf Classic, benefiting the Lupus Foundation of America Lone Star Chapter. Presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Shankla, Flight by Yingling, Twin Peaks, Renewal by Anderson, Meritage Homes, and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Sign up now at SASportsStar.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 36 months. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Smoker's Paradise, your premium smoke shop. Vaporizers, disposable e-cigarettes, hookah accessories, water pipes, cigars, and more. Now with 15 area locations, including the newest location at South Cross and Highway 37. Visit smokersparadise.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlichs, a former high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, has a smoking hot deal. Purchase any Mother's Window Tint, car stereo, remote start, or car alarm and get a 1 month free membership to the CFL Smoke Shop's private Amsterdam Club, located next to Mother's on 281 North. Make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with one of our subwoofers, stereos, backup cameras, name brands, and expert installation. Remember, do it at Mother's and save!
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
We're in the studio right now with Jose from the Gomez Law Firm. Online client reviews and testimonials are incredibly important. Joe Gomez Law is the leader when it comes to 5-star reviews.
We encourage people to go online and look at our reviews. There's a lot of attorneys that might not want you to do that, but we encourage you to do that because we want to make sure that you feel comfortable choosing the right attorney. And we assure you, you go to Google and look up our reviews, you're going to be satisfied. I mean, we have almost 1,000 reviews and we're very highly rated.
If anyone from San Antonio or even anyone from Texas is looking for a trusted attorney, the Gomez Law Firm is for you.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagel here. I want to take a moment to talk to you about advertising on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Yeah, we get this question quite a bit. Here's what you have to do. Contact Morgan Harrison via email. It's morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. From there, she's going to have one of our folks connect with you on how you can advertise right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Or since Alpha Media is a full-service advertising company, online, other radio stations, and even television, since that's just about all through the internet. Happy connecting.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When traveling to see A&M in College Station, make sure you bring along the guys from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Listen anywhere on the Odyssey radio app.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I'm James Pledger. Thanks for riding along with me as I get you home. Another man probably heading home right now. You just heard him. He is Joe Reinagel, co-host of The Blitz, weekdays from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And this news kind of broke as y'all were wrapping up the show. So you got to expand a little, but not a lot, but a lot of details kind of came in late as y'all were getting ready to head off. Like the fact that Jerry Jones said on not putting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor, this is DeMarcus's time. He's a player. Jimmy is not. I wanted to put a player in. By joking that he said Jason Witten and Tony Romo were going in. Write that, according to Clarence Hill. There seems to be a level of when it comes to Jerry and Jimmy, there still seems to be this level of content between the two.
But no question about it. It's unbelievable that there is that contempt because the narrative was that they had kissed and made up, and then you saw Jerry and Jimmy and live TV and playing around with each other. But no.
It sounds like we've got a little bit of a bad connection there with Joe, but I mean, this is something that they just held kind of a press conference after the fact, and Jerry Jones was just talking on where going into the Ring of Honor. This is what he said.
With the Hall of Fame and the recognition that goes with that, or the attention that goes with that, this is DeMarcus's year. This is his year. And the Cowboys want to, in any way we can, be a part of this year. And this is as much, let me tell you something, the Dallas Cowboys are as grateful and benefiting from him being in the Ring of Honor as he feels about being in the Ring of Honor. This is great for the Dallas Cowboys and our fans. And I say that unabashedly. If we can add anybody else to it that has the makeup that we're talking about right here, then that would really be special for the Ring of Honor. I emphasize player, I emphasize ambassador, I emphasize future, and more importantly, I emphasize the person.
You're emphasizing a lot of things. I would emphasize the 3 titles that Jimmy Johnson won for the Dallas Cowboys. He did things that were more relevant for the Dallas Cowboys over the last 30 years than anything DeMarcus Ware did. I will listen to arguments against that case, but in my opinion, nothing DeMarcus Ware did even holds a candle to what Jimmy Johnson did in his even shorter amount of time with the team, because of where they were, where he took them, and where he left them. And it made the Dallas Cowboys what they were and what they still kind of are because of them. This is the problem with having one man decide a Ring of Honor instead of a board of trustees, a think tank group, whatever it may be. At this point, I would not be shocked to see Jason Witten and Tony Romo go in ahead of Jimmy Johnson. I just wouldn't. It would not be surprising to me in the slightest. Because I do believe at this point, like Joe Reinigle said on the Blitz, the Cowboys have to win a Super Bowl before Jimmy Johnson will actually get his name into that Ring of Honor. Or it will be after he passes. It's one of the two situations. And it's a dang shame. because he meant a lot to this franchise, to the game of football, both college and professionally. Jimmy Johnson is a legend. His record doesn't reflect what he actually meant to the league. Try and bring back in Joe Reinigle here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. Joe, you there?
I'm sorry, man. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
I just figured you were driving through the mountainside.
Well, you would think, I took the exact same route that I always take, and the phone's never any problems. So sorry about that.
The fact that there was this audio and Jerry Jones is stressing the fact that he's a player, he's an ambassador, and what he does for the Dallas Cowboys. And I say, if what he does for the Dallas Cowboys is that important, Jimmy Johnson should already be in, because Jimmy Johnson, as a coach, in less time, did more for the Dallas Cowboys to this day than DeMarcus Ware ever did.
Look, I can't argue that point. I really can't. And I am on the train that says Jimmy Johnson deserves to be in. Jimmy Johnson should be in, should have been in a long time ago. But Cowboy fans have to look at it from both sides of the fence. Everybody hates Jerry Jones. Everybody hates him. Everybody's mad at him.
I think they are. I think they do hate him. I do think everybody's mad at him.
Says NBC would have on 17 times during the season. So that's all Jerry Jones. He's done all of that. And so it's kind of hard. It's okay to be mad at him, but you got to give him credit too. And it's just kind of a difficult day for Cowboy fans when it comes to Jimmy Johnson.
Well, and you got to give Jerry his flowers, because he's the hated guy that got rid of the legend Tom Landry when he got there, and was the guy that brought in Jimmy Johnson. And he's the one that empowered Jimmy Johnson to be able to trade away your best player like a Herschel Walker to get you that return that allowed you to build the team that you then built after the fact that won those 3 titles. Jimmy and Jerry are symbiotic. They are hand in hand. They are two sides of the same coin, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it looks like we're still having some issues with Joe's cell phone. Hopefully, we won't have as many issues with Rudy J's cell phone, as Rudy J will be joining me next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. He is finding out about this in real time, too, and I'm going to be interested to hear what a fan of Jerry Jones that he is, and he interviewed him this year out in Oxnard, how he feels about the news that was unveiled today after they spoke with him on the tennis courts in Oxnard. Rudy J of R&R in the Morning will be joining me next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
It's R&R in the Morning.
Thursday on R&R in the Morning. It is the final preseason games get going tomorrow. Pittsburgh versus Atlanta, Indy versus Philly, and key intel on all 32 play callers. What does the enemy know about Mike McCarthy's tendencies?
The sounds of Frisco continue. We'll hear from Mike McCarthy and Brandon Cooks. We got bad news. Sounds like you're grounded. The party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the Morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Man, this is a nice truck.
Yeah, check this out.
What?
I changed it to remind me of my time at sea.
Weren't you in the Air Force?
Yeah, but I really love the ocean.
You could save and get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender, leaving you with extra to spend on other things. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loans must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
Bobby, did we get that shipment of mesquite?
Jim's woodworking shop worked fine
Good fit on those Japanese corners.
until half his staff retired.
Wow, those cuts are neat. I'm really going to miss your precision.
He needs 4 skilled woodworker bees ASAP.
All right, this jigsaw needs a new blade.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mop?
Mop harder, mop smarter.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
To your left, our new exhibit, Monarchs of Springfield. And right here, we have our empty tour guide stand.
The last time Bryn hired someone is ancient history.
Sir, excuse me, that's not part of the exhibit.
They need tour guides who know the museum ropes.
Hey, kid, you like wearing khakis? I got a job for you.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. New Pepto Kids gummies helps relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for new Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It can be stressful when unexpected expenses come up, but Dave can help. Dave is the banking app that could help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. No interest, late fees, or credit check. Join the millions of people who have downloaded Dave and get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. Download the Dave app right now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Score $1,000 cash for back to school and another $1K for your favorite school or charity. Register to win now at sasportstar.com. Good luck from the Institute for Functional Health and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is Rudy J from R&R in the Morning. Join us weekday morning, 6 to 10. We'll have plenty of sports and good fun right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, man. Illmatic was such a fantastic album growing up back in the day. And speaking of which, I've got a bone to pick with my next guest, one Mr. Rudy J, who I heard on Tuesday calling me out up and down for the lack of a culturally appropriate rejoin music.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the San Antonio Sports Star is the only radio station in the country that just refuses to play hip hop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Was that not Nas that I was just bumping?
oh yeah. Convenient.
Is
That was
Blackway
convenient.
not a part of my open? Is Chameleonaire not a part of your open?
Is he?
His song is Chameleonaire.
Oh.
Before that, it was Kanye. I can't help it that y'all did away with all your rejoins and all you get is Chameleonaire now. That's not my
didn't do
fault.
away- First of all, there's no y'all. I don't have access to any of that.
All I know is I give you as much as I can. You know, whenever you want to hear a little, you know, old school, or whenever you want like maybe some Blackstreet from back in the day or something, I've always got you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you thinking about me. No one else does, so I appreciate you.
Because I know that conversation sparked from what you saw in Blue Beetle the other day, and I've heard it's a great movie.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. You know, I mean, I understand. You know, if the Latino community feels a way, that's a conversation for them to partake in. But I loved the movie. I thought it was great. I know it's not doing as well as some box office does with DC and Marvel, but still did $1 billion worldwide.
You know what the problem is? It doesn't matter what it is. We are never,
ever
not going to have people that don't feel a certain way about something.
Yeah. That's just the world we live in. Some people got to complain about something. We like to complain. That's just a part of.
We love to complain. I don't. I hate complaining, but we as a society love to complain.
Yes, we do, man. It's unfortunate. Like, we can't just go enjoy something for what it is. And, you know, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Like, I'm not a leave a review guy. You know, if I had a bad experience at a restaurant, I just had a bad experience. I don't feel the need to go to Yelp.
No, not at all. Because I don't know if I caught somebody on a bad day.
Yeah, and even if I do see a review, I don't go by someone's review because their palate is not my palate. Their experience is not my experience. So I have to see for myself. I don't trust society.
Society just there's another person I don't trust. Actually, there's a whole organization of people I don't trust. They're called coaches, and most of them reside at the Frisco Star, called the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones sat there and lied to your face on the tennis courts in Oxnard, right in your face, like looked you in the eye and lied to you about not having money for Zach Martin.
No money. It's not about Zach. I just don't have the money. And then a week later, boom.
Mike McCarthy's been lying to us all off season.
Relax. You leave Double M alone. That's my guy.
How is that your guy? He calls you by the wrong name. He thinks you're RJ Ochoa.
No. I'm not. He ain't that famous. He's famous, but he ain't that famous.
RJ? Did you see him with Kay Adams this morning, up in Adams?
No. When we were in Oxnard, he was the star.
Yeah.
But there ain't no mistaking this voice for Ochoa. But he is a rock star.
I gotta ask you, Jerry Jones comes out at the end of this big thing they're throwing up there at the Star, and at the end of it brings in the host, DeMarcus Ware, thanks him for everything he did, welcomes him into the Hall of Fame, and says, "You are going into the Ring of Honor this year."
No surprise.
Is it? Because I heard you're
no,
going
I said
into the
no
Ring of
surprise.
Honor the last time somebody got a gold jacket that went for the Cowboys, and I got this reaction.
While I'm alive?
And that still has not happened.
Well, the problem with Jimmy Johnson is he's overrated.
Explain yourself.
He didn't win any. Jerry was right. What did he win when he went to the Dolphins?
Who cares what he won when he went to the Dolphins?
Jerry, when Kobe and Shaq split up, we kept track, right? Kobe got 2, Shaq got 1. When Jerry and Jimmy split up, Jerry got 1. Jimmy did not. So Jerry wins.
So why can't they squash their beef and let this be a thing then? Why is Jerry still acting like
he deserves to be in the Cowboys Ring of Honor for what he did, pulling off the whatever his
Herschel
name was.
Walker.
I said, Herschel Walker trade. You know, he deserves to be in. I'm having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is look, I don't have the answer, but it is far more deeply rooted than any of us know clearly.
Has to be.
Because this is a 30-year grudge. Like, I've heard of grudges like, Magic and Isaiah Thomas cried on TNT. Shaq and Kobe made up before Kobe passed. We've seen guys bury the hatchet. I don't know what is going on with Jerry and Jimmy. I think the more, and this is going to make Jimmy's stay out even longer, because now we're all going to be talking about it, and Jerry's going to feel like everyone's forcing his hand. The longer we complain about it, the more Jerry has to do it when everybody's quiet, nobody's telling him to do it. He's not going to allow us to force his hand. And that's petty, and it's silly, and it's childish, and it's futile. But the more we talk about it, the less chances Jimmy gets to get in now. That's just the way Jerry is. Clearly, that's what's going on.
It has to be, because he, in a post announcement kind of get together, he said on not putting Jimmy Johnson the Cowboys Ring of Honor this year with DeMarcus Ware, this is DeMarcus's time. He's a player. Jimmy is not. I've wanted to put a player in. He also said that Jason Witten and Tony Romo are going to be in the Ring of Honor. Right, that he told Clarence Hill. There is something so deeply rooted right here in hatred. There was something that I pulled, and I'll let you listen to it, because he says something towards the end of it that really strikes a chord with me.
With the Hall of Fame and the recognition that goes with that, or the attention that goes with that, this is DeMarcus's year. This is his year. And the Cowboys want to, in any way we can, be a part of this year. And this is as much, let me tell you something, the Dallas Cowboys are as grateful and benefiting from him being in the Ring of Honor as he feels about being in the Ring of Honor. This is great for the Dallas Cowboys and our fans. And I say that unabashedly. If we can add anybody else to it that has the makeup that we're talking about right here, then that would really be special for the Ring of Honor. I emphasize player, I emphasize ambassador, I emphasize future, and more importantly, I emphasize the person.
All right. So he emphasizes player, he emphasizes ambassador, and he emphasizes future and what he's meant to the Dallas Cowboys in that brand. And I can argue up and down, and I can find probably very few people that will argue this. In less time, not being a player, Jimmy Johnson did more for the Dallas Cowboys as a brand than anything DeMarcus Ware did over his entire career.
Ooh.
Because the 90s Cowboys are still talked about to this day in a way that the Cowboys are who they are because of what happened in the 90s, because of the White House, because of the intense media focus on what he let them get away with around there, the same way kind of Miami is and what he let them do while he was at Miami. Jimmy Johnson created kind of the culture of what the Dallas Cowboys became and how they became a media machine. Jerry Jones is a part of that because they work together. They are two sides of the same coin that have both made this into the most profitable organization in professional sports. But Jimmy Johnson was the tip of the spear in starting that.
But wait, okay, that's fair. But a lot of that was built up with Roger Dodger and Tom Landry too. But I see where you're coming from. Don't get it twisted. Like this new, like not new generation, but my age, a little bit older. Yes, you're 100% right. So I get where you're coming from. But this is another beef that I have with the whole situation. When it comes to the offense, when it comes to the defense, when it comes to playoffs, when Troy, Mike, Emmett all have something to say publicly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure behind closed doors they've talked to Jerry. Why not put the pressure on Jerry publicly about this? Now they may have, and I may have missed it, but it's not loud enough. Be as loud. Emmett is super loud about the Cowboys' missteps. Be super loud about Jimmy getting into the Ring of Honor. Those guys that were part of that team that made the Cowboys so famous, I don't think they're loud enough about it.
That's a fair point. And perhaps it does have to fall on the triplets because they were the ones that really benefited the most off of everything that occurred, because they are still to this day
because they could easily
what
be
they
like,
are in the media because of what happened then.
They could easily, we see it with universities all the time. We see guys just like, look, I don't like what's going on over there. I'm stepping away from this university until they fix this and then so they get things right. The triplets could easily be like, look, man, until Jimmy gets in, I don't want to be a part of anything that goes on with the Dallas Cowboys. It ain't right. I know Jerry made all three of those guys multi-millionaires, but Rudy and Pledger and Jason and Joe, our voices don't ring as loud as the triplets. And I don't think they're loud enough. And they could easily, I'm not saying, you degrade Jerry in public or you talk bad about him. Just be like, look, man, we want Jimmy in. And until Jimmy gets in, this thing isn't going to be right. It ain't going to feel like home. It's really as simple as that. Unless they know what we don't know.
Which is how deep this goes.
Right. And they're kind of like, hey, I'm going to just step aside. But, they never bite their tongue about the Cowboy missteps. Ever, ever, ever. But yet I can't get a comment or a quote on this. And even if it's a comment or they made a comment or a quote, it's not harsh enough. It ain't hitting home enough with the Jones family.
He is Rudy J. You can catch him every morning with Rob Thompson from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Does D'Amico Ryans hate CJ Stroud, or is he just trolling the media at this point? Because for the third straight game, he has named CJ Stroud the starter for the Texans preseason game, yet still refuses to announce that he will be the starter week 1 of the season.
I think he's taking the page from Pop and Saban and Belichick. A lot of the greats just like, hey, man, I'll tell you when I tell you. Part of me, what I said on Tuesday when I did the show by myself, like maybe there's a part of D'Amico that still is really undecided. But if he has decided and he hasn't told you, he's just taking a page out of the old grumpy guy's book. I mean, we see Saban does it all the time. Pop never. It's one of those things. Maybe D'Amico's going to run one of those ships that's like, hey, man, what goes on in this house stays in this house, but we're not letting anybody in. We lived that for 20 plus years with Greg Popovich. They just don't tell us anything. I don't know at this point, Pledge. It is weird to let him start 3 preseason games, running all the reps with the ones. Everybody's talking about how great he looks at practice, how great he looked at training camp. So I don't have the answer at this point other than he's just being Saban, Pop, Belichick. Fair
enough. Lastly, Jerry Jones, after this event that they held up there, to go back to him, I'm going to read basically the question and then the quote. And I want to see if your head goes to the same place as me. You've heard about the Sam Williams thing, right?
Yes.
arrested, leaving the game, controlled substance, and unlawful carry of a weapon, right? Jerry Jones was asked about Sam Williams having some off the field issues since being drafted by the Cowboys last year. He was involved in a car wreck last year where he was driving nearly 100 miles an hour when he got in a wreck. And then this, which happened as he was once again speeding. Then they search the vehicle, find all the things. Jerry Jones, quote, "First of all, I'm seeing that he is, which is more often the case than not. This sounds a little hollow, but he's maturing." And he is. What, he was going like 60 when he was arrested? So he's 34 miles an hour less this year, 98 to 66. That's an improvement. We'll keep working. We'll get it down.
Translation to me, I don't know where your head went, but translation to me is we think Sam is going to be a dog. He is going to replace DeMarcus Lawrence, and I will turn my face and act like I didn't see it until I get everything I want out of him.
Okay. My head immediately went to that is a poor joke. When no, seriously, when we're this close and Henry Ruggs just got arraigned, like that is a poor joke to make.
Okay, I get that, Pledge. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But to keep it in context, he did not kill anyone.
No. But getting into a wreck at 100 miles an hour, that's dangerous. And that more often than not does lead to fatalities.
Yeah, they say, certain things are gateways. Like, you got your gateway drugs. I'm more concerned with what the controlled substance is.
It was THC. My guess is it was either gummies or a pen or pen cartridges.
Why can't we just say weed? When you say controlled substance, I automatically think like coke, fentanyl. You know what I mean? Like, just say weed.
But it wasn't weed. Like, we all know that those hit a little bit harder.
It wasn't flour.
Yeah. We all know that the pure stuff hits a little bit harder.
Well, that's the problem with that pure stuff. You think it's not hitting, and then next thing you know, you're seeing donkeys with rainbow bright jackets on. You know what I'm saying? I get that part of it, but no, I mean, I think it should be taken seriously. But if that was really his answer, they're not concerned.
They're not concerned at all. And you're right. They think he's going to be a dog, and we're just going to keep this train moving.
That's what I'm taking from it. My thing to Sam, and I'm in all seriousness, like, dude, I mean, because the NFL has car services. Like, if this is the case, if you can't control yourself, just call the NFL car service.
This was at 4 a.m. after they land. So it was Sunday morning at around 3, 4, 5 in the morning, whatever it was. They played a game at 9 o'clock at night here, and that game didn't finish until after midnight. They're leaving the stadium, getting on a plane. That screams to me they left the stadium and he was leaving the airport. Like, that's when they would have gotten home.
Did he get a driving under the influence charge as well, or just the possession of? So he didn't. So
did he have the gun on the team plane, or was it just in his car?
Let me hold on. Let me ask this though, and I guess this is something I have to ask Rob, or get if allowed a lawyer listening. I thought we passed a law in Texas that said we didn't even have to have licenses anymore.
There is a conceal and carry license that you have to have.
I'm not a gun guy. Like, I don't even own a gun.
And especially if it's concealed in your car.
Yeah, I don't own guns at all. I know that's weird in Texas.
Yeah. You can openly brandish them. There is a, open carry that you don't have to have, but if you're going to conceal, you have to have a license.
Oh, got you. Damn. And Sam's my guy, man. I was rooting for Sam. We talked to him. I thought his story was cool. Hopefully he can clean up his act, because at some point, I mean, look at Randy Gregory. When the league was still testing for marijuana, Jerry kept him around forever because he thought Randy was a dog. Hell, even gave him the bag, but Gregory didn't want to sign the "hey, if I mess up" clause. So, you know, Jerry, if he thinks you can play, Jerry lives by that old school law of if you can play, you have a much longer leash. And if that was his answer, well, I don't have to say if that was his answer. You know, by his response, it seems like Sam is going to have one of those long Jerry leashes.
He is Rudy J. Catch him tomorrow, 6 to 10 with Rob Thompson. What y'all got coming up tomorrow on R&R?
Tomorrow, first and foremost, we'll be at SA Card House.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
right.
Sure we'll be out at SA Card House. You know, last time we were there was already people playing poker at 5 a.m. So we always look forward to it because Foster's Bar and Grill, they got great. So I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna talk football, man. It's football season. We're starting to look at college. We got college starting up. We got 2 NFL games today. Not sure who all's gonna play in Atlanta and Philly and Pittsburgh and Indy. I don't know who all's gonna play, but we'll look at that. And you know, of course, we're gonna talk about Sam Williams, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about Ring of Honor and Jimmy Johnson.
I have zero doubts. He is Rudy J. You can catch him tomorrow, 6:10. Go out and see him out at SA Card House, 281 and Bitters. Rudy, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Hey, I appreciate you, Pledge. Have a good one, brother.
Have a great one, my man. I'll make sure you have all the sound you need from this event.
Thank you, sir.
That's going to do it for Extra Innings with Pleasure tonight. Thanks for riding along with me right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. And don't forget, tomorrow, R&R in the morning, 6 to 10. Join them out at SA Card House at 281 and Bitters.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
School on! Save on!
Back to school is on, and Staples